Hi guys, we're here to finish, or not to finish, but we're going to let out working on this for a little bit. Let me turn the camera down here a little bit better. There we go, that's better. What we're going to do first is glue the roof up. I want these two pieces here to be the roof, maybe. Yeah, well, first thing I'm going to do, if they're both the same, I'm going to take one over to my saw and cut it down. What I do is I'm going to that up like that. Put a line on it. I'll be right back. I'm going to make that cut. There we go. I cut that off. The reason I cut that off, when I put it together, this is going to be on top of it, like that, and it makes both sides the same, other than one side being longer than the other. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is take my clamp. It's a corner clamp. Get this side clamped in there good and tight. They don't say you can never have too many clamps when you're woodworking. That is absolutely true. And I leave that one in the clamp right there. I'm going to glue up the one edge of this. Glue off there. It's kind of cold out again. It didn't go above 40 degrees today or yesterday, so it makes the glue all kind of tough to set up. I'm going to snug this down. Grab the other clamp. Sure that stays good and even right in there. Okay, I got that clamped. Now I'm going to take two other clamps. These two clamps here. But I don't want to nail it yet, because I don't know what kind of carving I'm going to be doing on the roof. There's that glue squeezing out. And I don't want to hit my nails or my brads. So I'll clamp this all up. The glue, once that glue sets up, this is going to be good and solid. Plenty more solid enough for me to go and carve it. There you go. The roof's all clamped up. I'm going to give that a day or two to dry, at least 24 hours. So I'll set that aside. I won't worry about the other two sides for a day or two. And back to this. What I'm going to do, pencil mark here, there, there. What I'm going to do is shave this all down. They can sit back and I'll recut it again. Let me turn on my dust collector and start carving this down a little bit again. I do this so that when I'm done with the flower's standing out in front. These like the leaves and the stem will be sitting back. save that. I know it sounds dumb, but it's a good fire starter, so we usually save that. That's the fuzzies. Sometimes it wouldn't be so fuzzed up. Alright. Now what I did was I actually brought that down a little bit lower than these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in deeper again. And I'll probably even take it down again, but not tonight. I'm going to cut in deeper so I don't lose it. See where we got it now? I'm going to take my jigsaw. I'm going to cut these out of here on both sides. Let me clean my bit first. Sometimes the wood, for some reason, gets real fuzzy. Warms your bit up pretty fast. Cut that out. Sometimes it's just easier to take the jigsaw to it than it is to take my Dremel and try to cut all that out of there with the Dremel. It's a lot easier when you just take the jigsaw. cut down there, you cut deep in there. I got my leaf carver on the corner here. Same with this side here. This wall will be cut down again. Right now I'm going to clear this wood out from under here and under here.